Следующий кейс. Jaap. Я переключусь на английскую дорожку, чтобы с Япом взаимодействовать. Так что давайте за мной дуйте. So, Jaap, I think we can go further to the next case. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
I know you're always ready. Okay, we're also ready. Because
Okay.
I really enjoy listening to you and I just relax and do nothing.
Wonderful. Okay, bring it on.
Yep. Please turn on Jaap, because I can still see me and Eugene. We are really nice guys, but we're not main players today.
I'm fully ready. Yes, there we are again. Okay, guys, so I hope all the rest of you enjoy this as well. And now we've got a very nervous Inияr waiting to see what I'm going to ask her and tell her about her case. Again, last Friday, the second case, we had a fantastic talk with Inияr Davidova, head of customer experience. So I am going to give her the floor to introduce herself. Inияr, welcome.
Да, всем добрый вечер.
Добрый
Слышно
вечер.
меня?
Да, привет. Слышно,
Да.
но пока не видно. Слышим, видим пока Япа. Сейчас у нас переключится.
Да.
Вот, теперь мы слышим.
Я ik het niet even binnenkomen.
Так, сейчас видим Женю и Женю.
Что-то мы приглянулись оператору. Сейчас на тебя переключим.
Ну, давайте пока начну, займу эфир немножко. Да, меня зовут Инияр Давидова. Сейчас я работаю в клиентском опыте Газпромбанка в сегменте розничного бизнеса именно. Вообще я абсолютно банковский работник. Я всю свою карьеру работаю в банках. Для меня очень родное направление. И именно в клиентском опыте я работаю чуть больше 5 лет. Начинала с обслуживания сферы, то есть я выходец из контактного центра, и, соответственно, это частая история в клиентском опыте. Вот, соответственно, более 5 лет уже работаю в клиентском опыте. Безумно люблю эту тему, она безумно интересна, бесконечна, немного новая, возможно, на российском рынке, но, мне кажется, очень потенциально. Давайте про кейс, про банк расскажу, может быть, да, следующий слайд. Переключите? Да, если кто-то вдруг не знает, Газпромбанк – это один из крупнейших банков в России. Если мы говорим про физических лиц, это около 3 миллионов клиентов активных, 400 офисов и достаточно большой штат, порядка 20 тысяч сотрудников. Давайте следующий слайд, я расскажу сразу про кейс. Мы некоторое время заменяем регулярный НПС, участвуем в синдикативном исследовании банков, среди банков. 2 раза в год проводим такое исследование. Меня слышно?
Да, все отлично.
Так, меня слышно, подскажите. Да, спасибо. Да, смотрите, мы 2 раза в год проводим такое исследование средств по базе, сравниваем себя с конкурентами синдикативного исследования. Вот, мы пришли с таким запросом, кейсом, да, то есть у нас есть замер на порядка 9 тысяч клиентов, знаем свой НПС, знаем НПС конкурентов, попытались связать с другими показателями банковскими. Например, там, количество продуктов на клиента, транзакционная активность, доход по клиентам. И в целом, в общем, увидели странный тренд, с которым мы пришли к Япу. Тренд заключается в том, что клиент, у которых повышенный комиссионный доход, показывает более высокую лояльность. А в чем странность? Потому что основная часть комиссионного дохода – это проданные дополнительные страховые продукты кредитом наличными. То есть это такая на российском рынке, можно сказать, некое навязывание доп. Продуктов, да, то есть мы получаем хороший комиссионный доход, как бы ощущение, что клиенты не должны быть от этого очень сильно лояльны, но тем не менее, в общем, мы видели такой тренд. И дальше зашли в тупик, думаем, что дальше делать. Но вот где все-таки тот инсайт, который нам позволяет понять причины и где ключевые драйверы. Вот с этим кейсом пришли, я откликнулся на наш посыл, и, в общем, дальше я ему передаю слово, он расскажет детально.
Okay, so I think this is me now, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Oh, okay.
So for all of you that are listening, Maria and Inияр, they speak Russian, but actually they are really good in English as well. So I just wanted to point that out because they are too shy to speak English or something, which is completely nonsense. They are really good. Okay. Anyway, again, the same conversation and the same methodology of diving in what we did with Maria, we did here as well. So what, again, is the bigger picture? And again, you've already heard a few bits and pieces, but Газпромбанk used NPS to measure 3 million customers. They periodically measure the overall NPS, 5,000 twice a year, with an NPS of 29. You know the drill by now. That means the survey is relational. They don't do transactional, they do relational. And again, this is always high level because people may have had contact, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and they may have had contact 2 years ago. And you can already see that is quite a difference. You get all sorts of people. People with a lot of money, people with little money, students from the new generation or the really older generation, people in cities and people from the rural landscape. It's a lot of differences, but if you have a huge volume and you do this periodically, it is still very valuable. But it is good to know that Inияr is doing NPS like this, as opposed to Maria, where we had a transactional piece. Okay, so relational piece, the bigger problem. Well, okay, what is the problem? The overall NPS is 29. We've seen that, and they're diving in their data per group, per product, and region, doing all sorts of cool stuff. And one red flag came up. High commission income from clients comes from life insurances cross-sold to a loan. Okay, hang on. Typically, when you ask for a loan, you have to buy that life insurance extra product. How do you get that? It's done by agents, by staff in a branch, and they are very highly motivated to cross-sell it because they get a bonus. So everything intuitively thinks that will be a really low NPS. Because if you're going to that place and you want a loan, you have to buy the life insurance, and you get all those pushy agents and really pressuring you, you will go crazy and you will hope they will burn in hell. You know, that is the typical response. This will result in a very low NPS. Hang on. It is a very high NPS. What the hell is going on? How is this possible? So you can now see that from all the cases that we received, this one was, wow, this one is strange. Let's dive in. Okay, how is this possible? And this is a good one, right? Is this good or bad? Because a high NPS, I think it's strange, but maybe it's a good thing. Let's find out. Okay, so the first thing I did was, typically in our call, Inияr, and I quickly drew something. What is a typical bank journey? Just zooming out. Well, probably you've seen this, and I can dream this. And by the way, I have been in financial services for 12 years, so I really know how banks work as well. But you can use this for you can use this for pharmacy, for every industry. But in a bank, usually it's not rocket science. It's new. A new customer signs up with the bank, and you can have a lot of details in between as well. The customer uses the bank products. Fine. There is a care section. They had contact with customer service or someone in the branch or someone at the phone. And somewhere in their lives, there will probably also be a change. That can be, I'm moving house, so I'm going to give you my new address details. It can also mean I want to buy another product, or I want to change something, to change anything. And of course, hopefully not, but it's always possible, there is a potential that the customer leaves. So however you look at it, basically these are the typical 5 things in a bank. Where are we positioned here with this problem, with change? Okay, so what is the trigger? And by trigger, I mean, what is the spark? What is the flame that sets everything in motion? Well, in this case, the new customer requests a loan. And of course, you can go further up by saying, why does the customer request a loan? But let's stick to this. A trigger for the bank, a new customer applies, he requests a loan. Okay, why is this interesting for the bank? Well, because it's an opportunity for them to sell an extra insurance product. They can loan it, of course they can. But if the process is designed, you can get a loan quicker, faster, and with less risk. If you buy this insurance product and you see it's successful, hey, it's extra money. Of course, that is good. So what is the process? Well, let's split it up. You've got an online process and you've got a live process. In the online process, the customer fills out an online form. In the live process, they request a loan with an agent in a branch. Not rocket science. Then you've got a different part with influencing. This is where the bank, in this case, can try to steer it towards an outcome they like best. It's influencing. So, for instance, online, the customer fills out an online form, and the checkbox, that little square box that you need to tick, is already ticked. Do you want a loan? Fine, fill out your details, and customers actively have to unclick that insurance product box. Nothing wrong with it, perfectly fine, and this is a way to influence. What happens, the influencing part, at the live environment? Well, the agent explains the process and the advantages and is commissioned. That means he or she gets a bonus for every successful sold product. And when the customer agrees and signs, the agent arranges the loan in the system. The customer gets a lower rate or is promised a higher chance of approval. Those are the advantages. You see the asterisks. And what is the outcome? 30 minutes to 1 hour later, the customer gets an SMS. The loan is in. Woohoo! I can spend the money. It's kind of an endorphin, right? It's like shopping. You bought that at that sale. You bought that really cool handbag. Yes, I did it. I requested it, and the money is in. So sending the customer an SMS is a really smart thing to do because it gives the customer the idea he has been successful at something. It's a really positive boost, like, yes, I rock. Okay, so this is the process. I've copied it on top of it, right? So what do we have? We know the overall score is 29 and the cross-sell score block, where people that want a loan are and they buy that insurance product in a live environment from that pushy agent, they get a higher score. This is strange. Okay, questions. Are customers giving those higher scores because of the agents? Because they like the human contact? Despite them being really pushy? Are they giving high scores because of the outcome, despite the agents? So customers come in and they are so happy that they have got that loan and can start spending money on whatever they wanted it for, that they will just ignore those pushy agents? That's possible. Or is it because of other things? Because do they give high scores because this particular process is really quick? Remember, you can walk into a branch, you can talk to an agent, you just ignore him or her being really pushy, you sign, you walk out, and 30 minutes later, on your phone, yes, the SMS is in. I've got money. So these three things were on my mind when we were talking together. How do we know that? Okay. If you can see this block online, now it's completely red because, again, NPS is a puzzle. And we've got way more data that we can filter and slice. So let's take a look at that online block. What is the score of people who got a loan live? Oh, sorry, I should do it like this. The online block is on the right. Sorry, I crossed it. The two questions. What is the score of people who got a loan in a live environment? Well, they resisted the pushy agents. They did not agree with an extra insurance, but they did still get the loan. Well, thinking out loud, you can say, well, if the NPS of that segment is lower, then probably the pushy agents have really got a negative effect. If the NPS is higher, then probably the pushy agents weren't a problem at all. If you compare that to the online loans, if the NPS is lower, then probably the human factor has a positive effect, even though it is pushy. And if that NPS is higher of those online accepted loans, then probably the pushy agents or the entire longer process, I mean, you have to go out, you have to go to the bank, you have to do that, that is causing a negative effect. So I know this is kind of a lot to think in, but basically what you're doing here is you're building scenarios. What if? If this is really successful, what about the other components? Is it higher? Then this is the outcome. Is it lower? Then this is the outcome. And the good thing is, you have got all that data. You can make all those analysis. And now this is a really cool thing, because without me knowing, the guys at Globite actually really did a dive in. So I want to hand it back to Yevgeny, I think. And within one day, they really kicked ass. And they actually did the number crunching. So for me, it's a big surprise as well. So, Yevgeny.
Well, I will continue in English. So I can share it's not only with the class, and also with you. Yeah. So
you can do it in Russian if you want. I can read.
Well, okay. I'll try in English, and if everyone hates me for that, then, well, I'm sorry. So, but nevertheless, can you please show also the presentation with my face near it?
That is for Mariska to do?
Yeah, it's for our operator. Sorry, I still hear. Oh, yeah, great. So actually, what have we done here with Inияr? We've looked into this thing and tried to understand if it's really the push agents thing or maybe human contact. So first thing, we compared, this is 44 point NPS for high commission income, right here on the first graph. So after that, we filtered this data by splitting in who got a cash loan and who hasn't got a cash loan. Because, well, like Inияr said, the high commission income means, usually means the cash loan, but it's not always the case. So when we look at the right part of the graph, we see that the high commission income for ones who got the loan is 50 NPS, and it's 36 for the ones who got the loan but refused the insurance and hence its low commission income. So this basically what tells us, so yeah, it's really the pushing agents which had negative effect. It's like this: if you just accept what you offered, then you give a high score because you're happy that you got a loan. But if you struggle through and kick the agent who tries to sell you insurance and shouted at him and said, well, I don't need this insurance, back off me, I just need a loan, then of course you will remember this and it will result in lower score. So basically, the higher score we saw first time, it's not because we pushed clients to buy insurance, it's because it's highly much lower customers because they got a loan. So, but there is this thing. So the next slide, we tried to use the same approach to answer different hypotheses. For example, also Inияr asked, maybe if there is a payroll slavery, can we somehow tackle this with NPS data? So yeah, we also looked at the data for payroll and non-payroll clients, but we also knew that, well, throughout the history of the bank, there are different strategies used, so we need to split those into the different generations. From the recent ones who has been acquired from 3 months to 1 year from now, from year to 3 years, and etc. So what we saw there is a very significant dip in NPS for non-payroll clients, for clients who were brought up from year to 3 years before. But we also saw their boost in average credit balance per client. So we dive in and saw that there were a lot of mortgage clients who was onboarded in that period. And mortgage clients has very, very low NPS. In this case, they only have 4 points instead of overall 29. So we subtracted them and looked at the results. And here we see that payroll and non-payroll clients, they do not have such differences, mainly in recent parts of this in year or for 3 years from now. So basically we can conclude that there is not so much issue with payroll slavery because payroll clients have pretty much the same NPS scores as the other guys, except for mortgages. I'm sorry, I think in Russia everyone hates mortgage because you need to pay it. And the next part next slide, we've tried to understand the human touch in this. So we've looked at guys who visited the branch, and we saw again what we haven't expected. We've expected that human touch should give us higher NPS score, but we saw that the ones who hadn't visited the branches has 27 score, and others who has visited the branches has 23 score of NPS. Also, we've again dived into the data and found out that a huge part of such clients called in call center previously. So by doing this split, we get the picture too, and we see that, well, the ones who haven't called the call center, they have pretty much the same NPS, 30, 31. And the ones who called the call center, they have a very different NPS, 5 and -1. And, well, there is a reasonable explanation there. First of all, no one calls call center if you doesn't have a problem. So basically, there is no flow NPS for ones who has called call center is understandable. But the second part is that the one who called call center and then they needed to go to the branch means they cannot solve their problem in a call center, and they more pissed, more angry with us than the ones who just called, solve their problems and move on. So basically here is an example when you really need to go deeper into the data in order to understand, not to scratch the surface, but to understand what is the reasoning behind this course. So yeah, back to you.
Okay, thank you. I absolutely love that you've done these very quick analysis. It really brings it to life. So again, what we ended up with the first time, and now again, it is a two-step rocket. The NPS scores are a signal. In this case, it was a very puzzling, strange signal. How can that be higher, where you would expect a pushy subscription to be scoring lower? Why is it higher? And then you start to dive in and dive in and dive in with only one question to your mind. What is happening and how can I change it? How can I change it so it's positive for us? And how am I going to make that? It is always the same. So with a low NPS somewhere, basically you've got a problem and you have to solve it before customers get angry. That is a change. With a high NPS somewhere, you can spot an opportunity and you can copy it to other teams and processes. Again, that is change. How do you do that? And basically, this is why I really like NPS and actually love NPS, because it's a puzzle and you have to dive in and something will come out. And then you have to really think, how am I going to change my company to benefit from this? So those were my final words. So let's get back to Inияr. I'm really curious. Did this help? Was this insightful? How was this whole experience? Tell us about it.
Ну, я точно могу поделиться, что инсайт случился. Это, знаете, про то, что как вроде как все просто, но почему-то до этого мы не дошли. Ну, то есть очень интересно для меня было это вот на самом деле очень глубокая многогранность анализа, как мы можем вытаскивать, смотря вот глубоко на несколько ступеней вниз, видеть те зависимости, которых на самом деле на первом уровне в явном виде увидеть невозможно. Поэтому это очень для меня интересный опыт и кейс. Мы будем дальше крутить и смотреть на показатели. Большое спасибо, это очень полезно.
You have to help me a bit because my Russian is really bad. I have no clue what you said, so go on, give me something in English, Inja.
Okay. Inияр said it was very insightful.
Okay. I can't believe why you are so shy. I heard you speak English, and it is really good.
You know,
But okay.
Actually, I remember a film. It's called Lost in Translation, and the guy came to Japan, and then a guy talks in Japanese, and he tells a lot of words like blah 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 blah, and the translator says, "You need to be more tight," and he says, "Oh, I think he told something more." So I did the same. Okay.
But
thank you, Jaap. I will now switch to Russian mode.
you can switch. I've got 2 slides that I can close it off with, if you allow me. Maybe that's useful.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then I will make a short announcement.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so dear operator, yes, there I am. I just wanted to quickly show you, because we've been talking about MPS a lot, and I told you I love MPS. And if you remember the introduction where I was talking about all the master classes and all that kind of stuff, I just wanted to show you this is one segment that we've discussed with these 2 cases, and I've just put a lot of pictures in there all around customer journeys, a value pyramid, how can you calculate the value, what are influences that you can use to understand MPS, how do you do the closing the loop. I'm so excited and so enthusiastic about this whole world of customer experience and the Net Promoter Score. I can talk for days and days and days about it. And the good thing is that I do talk for days and days and days. There is so much to share. So if you are interested, again, this is the one that I wanted to showcase in English and in Russian. So no need to talk English. If you just listen to English, that's enough. And if you're too shy, I will challenge you to speak English, but I won't push you for it. This is just really, really, really good fun. So I would like to say a hearty welcome if you just join and just have a lot of fun. And that basically concludes my part. So now we get to look. Yevgeny is putting on his hood. Yeah, you can't see it, but he's putting on his hoodie. So we're going to listen to Yevgeny now.
Oh, I have a very long presentation and a lot of slides. So I just wanted to say thank you, Jaap. It was really nice, and it was a great pleasure for me, and I hope for everyone. And please come to our Sarafan team and to our the things that we do, and you're always welcome. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And thank you, Maria and Inияр. It's really fun to meet you.
Thank you too.
Да, Маша, Инияр, спасибо вам огромное за смелость и за то, что помогли сделать это мероприятие. Без вас оно бы не получилось. Спасибо вам огромное. Так, значит, что у нас дальше по программе? У нас 2 секции сегодня. То есть первая секция, она была про разбор кейсов, и она такая была больше бизнесово-методологическая. А сейчас у нас будет небольшой экскурс в процесс майнинг и как его можно использовать для анализа клиентских путей. Но это будет не прямо сейчас, а это начнется во сколько, Жень?
Начнется это через 25 минут. Сейчас мы всех приглашаем в онлайн-бар.
Пока стенд.
25-30. Вот. Приглашаем всех в онлайн-бар. Можно там задавать вопросы. Надеемся, Jaap тоже подключится. Но тут уже в онлайн-баре придется с ним разговаривать на английском, как он всех, собственно говоря, пушит. Итак, продолжим с докладами в 19:00. Вот. А ссылка на онлайн-бар есть на нашей главной странице. Вот. До встречи там.